So I hate this. I hate the weather. I hate climate change. And I don't want to burn or freeze to death just yet.
No, I don't want you to do that either. Please, and for the sake of the listeners and the content we create, don't get yourself into any extreme weather events or temperatures.
Yeah, do your best. Wear sunscreen.
Yeah, wear sunscreen. Get yourself some of those like Mad Max goggles to keep the dust storms away.
Yeah. Get a canteen. Drink water.
Yeah, fill them with oil.
Or water.
Gasoline.
Oh, canola, I was going to suggest.
Oh, yeah, no, I was going to go with gasoline or crude.
I mean, different purposes, I suppose.
Yeah, no, do you think we could maybe, like, sort of solve the right-wing fascist movement in this country by just letting people know the resource wars are on their way and then just selling them, like, Baker buckets of crude oil? That they just, like,
Maybe?
that we know they won't store well and might just explode accidentally one day.
You know, I mean, at the
which I, of course, am only joking and suggesting doing, because
I mean, people were doing that in Texas and Florida when the gas prices were going up. People like were literally filling trash bags with gasoline, which you can't do.
You can't
the
do that.
gasoline will rip through. It will dissolve the plastic.
Okay, like as someone who has been a child, I filled up a trash bag with water before, and like that's not a sturdy vessel.
No. And you can't store that in your home.
No, it's like you're just leaving it in your car.
Because of the vapor.
Yeah. This is very much like Homer Simpson with a bag of sugar a mountain of sugar in the backyard. Just like they have like 10 or 15 trash bags full of gas that eventually just like the sun and gasoline just melts and it soaks into the ground as they're desperately like sucking it out of the ground with their mouth and spitting it into their gas tank. Trying to save it.
Nope, yep, that's fully the sort of thing that's going to happen. See, they don't talk about the gas wars in Star Trek. I've been watching a lot of Star Trek. They don't talk about the gas wars.
What do they talk about?
They do talk about other civil wars, so I'm like, but that's like an easy guess.
Oh, yeah, that's human beings are going to fight each other over a rule? No.
Yeah. I don't know. Do you watch Star Trek? I don't think you do.
No, right? I mean, I've seen a ton of it just from like growing up for the last 30 years and watching TV. But
I think you would really like Star Trek, especially I think you would really like Deep Space Nine.
I've watched some of Deep Space Nine. It's fine.
It's pretty good, but I think you fully were going to be like, well, I would be a Maquis though, who are like the resistance groups who want to break away from the Federation.
For what purpose?
Because they're more like an anarchist group. Like the regulations they say are too strict, and I don't think they ever had the words for it to say it in the 90s, or they could. But clearly, it's anti-colonial.
It is? Okay, because that's what I was wondering. It's like, okay, but are you okay if it's specifically anti-colonial, like that? Very on board with. I was also thinking of it like, well, because as soon as you said like it's a bunch of anarchists who are like, we have like some sort of like federated communist utopia where man boldly goes, etc. But we want to like do our own thing, and it's like, nah, just shut up and go with the communism. Like, do this thing.
But I mean, like, it's not like it's really not communist though. I wish it was, but it's close to it, but it's not quite.
Okay, well, so
it's definitely some sort of socialist utopia.
So it's like socialism, and you have like a slightly more radical decolonial group that's saying, all right, it's time to. You've done like 500 years of socialism. It's time to actually be like, it's time to get back to the active work of evolving socialism toward communism.
Exactly. And I remember there's because there are several episodes where they go back in time. There was one episode where they go back into like not too far from today. It was like 2050, but like there was uprisings on Earth, and I remember one of the lines was like, "Oh, I thought the neo-Trotskyists in France were able to just stop all of those student protests." And I was like, "What's going on here?
What did they think was going to happen?"
It's also, did they just throw a bunch of words together?
They 100%. Oh God, that's hard to know. Like, yeah, no, they probably had no idea. They're just like, find me some Soviet Union words,
or
maybe,
apply it to France.
Well, or maybe like that was like a line they had to put in because like there's some Star Trek original series episode where like there's like a planet of French neo-Trotskyists that they visit, and they're like, oh my god, we thought you disappeared from Earth in 2100. What happened? And they're like, we built our utopia. And now they just have to mention that they exist, even though it makes no sense.
Right, exactly. Continuity is the most important thing of all of these things.
Yeah.
And that is something Trotskyists will definitely agree with. Probably.
Psychic Dolphin Garage.
Hey everybody, welcome to another episode from the Psychic Dolphin Garage. I'm Dennis, he, they.
I'm Charlie, she, her.
And that's it.
There's no Bo.
He's on a secret reconnaissance mission, and he will report back to us soon.
Mm-hmm.
But until then, we wait in anticipation.
I hope he can find all of the people that are on our list.
Uh-huh.
And let that be a lesson to anyone who cancels their Patreon against doing so in the future.
That is such a stark warning.
Yeah, I hope no one cancels the Patreon between now and release, or this will sound like a threat to them.
Please don't. But if you do check out the Patreon, I have some old episodes of my cult podcast up there. The first one's about Fallen Gong, and the second one is about the Branch Davidians. So enjoy that.
A gong and a branch.
So anyway, gong on a branch. But let's look at our quick headlines for today.
Yeah, what do we got for things that are worth mentioning, but not enough to make us want to talk about them for 30 minutes?
Well, the Starbucks CEO tried to silence union leaders in a secret meeting held in Long Beach, California. Not too far from me, actually.
Please tell me a little bit about that. What do you mean by a secret meeting, and how do they silence people?
Some people at the board at Starbucks were like trying to meet with union organizers to like discuss things. And so they did go, but they were actually trying to voice their opinion, and good old Howard Schultz kept silencing them, like literally talking over them. So just like that's great.
Just slamming his coffee bean staff into the ground, being like, "Silence! No one shall defy me, Howard Schultz."
I want to imagine it was like that.
I can only imagine rich people like discard identities like fads just periodically. Like, I'm just gonna be like a proclamation scepter guy this month.
Yeah, I'm gonna be a count. Okay, so LA COVID cases are up 78%, though hospitalizations are down. That 78% went from 0.8% of the population to 1.2% of the population.
Yikes.
And this is LA County. And this is specifically the subvariant BA2. So be careful out there. I'm still wearing my mask, even though I'm not in LA County.
Yeah, I really hate that everyone's telling me wearing your mask is only minimally effective. It's more just you not spreading it. But at least I won't be spreading it if I had it.
Yeah.
I'll just get it whenever I go anywhere.
Yeah, you could be asymptomatic and not know it. So still, wear a mask.
Yeah.
Zoos are moving their birds indoors to protect them from a deadly strain of avian flu that's affecting the United States.
Oh, that's sad. A real bummer. Birds are not so good indoors, and on top of that, now they're going to have like there's gonna be a bunch of birds putting nudes online soon as they just go quarantine mad.
Well, not only that,
and that's what Twitter was originally for.
But this is just zoo birds. Non-zoo birds, the ones that fly about our heads, don't get to be indoors.
All have avian flu.
They may or may not have avian flu, and avian flu is one of those zoonotic diseases that can spread to humans. So again, be careful. Don't lick a bird.
Yeah, don't fuck around with these birds. We now know that non-zoo birds are a counter-revolutionary class, and you can build as big of a window as you want.
I feel like they're the lumpen proletariat, if anything. I have a funny bird story, but I'll save that for later. Some other day. And then finally, the CDC warns of meningococcal disease outbreak in Florida, particularly among gay and bi men.
They've got severe meningococcs.
Yeah, meningococcs. That's That's what they're calling their assholes now, meningococks.
Oh no!
But
why are they like this?
I'm just kidding. Oh well,
no. Why? No, I mean, why do they have the disease? What's wrong with them?
Oh, I don't know. And no one's really quite sure, but it just seems to be affecting those populations, particularly those who are affected by HIV/AIDS, which of course it's going to affect them more likely because, you know, it's an autoimmune disease. So just stay careful. Be careful.
This is a bacteria, correct? And it it lives inside where does it grow?
I believe it's the throat down to the gut.
Because I know that it can get into
no. It's meningitis, so it's the spinal cord, but it is passed through, I think, through the gut.
It's a disease that grows on your nerves.
Yeah.
Okay, because I know I had someone when I worked at Radio Shack. Someone I know I worked with an older guy who was having a lot of pain in one side of his head for a while, and he wound up in the hospital because he had meningitis, which was I thought it was growing along the nerve that ran near your from your jaw under your ear out back your head, somewhere in that area, because he wound up with this big meningitis infection there, and then something burst, and he had to go to the hospital, and he lost hearing in that ear.
Yeah, I mean the CDC is not saying it seems to be located amongst a group of gay and bisexual men in Tallahassee in the universities. So it's just these guys experimenting, it sounds, or just having sex, and one of them might have had meningitis and spread it.
Okay.
And the CDC is urging the population there to take the MenACWY vaccine.
Huh.
Which I did not know that we had a meningitis vaccine. That's
Make sure to protect yourself from the disease that could strike anywhere, anytime, really without you doing anything, because, I mean, how do you give yourself meningitis? It's like a step on a rusty nail over and over again situation?
No, that's lockjaw.
Surely you can give yourself more than one kind of bacteria from a rusty nail.
Who knows? Doctors, call in. Let us know. We have some doctors that listen to us, so...
Yeah, or if you have had meningitis or currently have meningitis, maybe call into the show and then go to the hospital.
Mm-hmm.
Call into the show from the hospital if you're right now in the hospital with meningitis.
Right. So, those were our quick headlines. Let's go to our tweet of the week. Admittedly, this tweet of the week is... The content of the tweet is old, but the tweet that reposted this old content kind of blew up, probably because this person is 6'4" and has a lot of followers.
Okay, yeah. Okay.
Let's lay the groundwork. The tweet itself is from at Cuntanadian. Thanks, at Cuntanadian. Great name, by the way. That's perfect.
Yeah, thank you.
They tweeted a video of a person twerking at a pipeline protest in front of I believe this is DC.
Yeah, this is
and they are popping their pussy everywhere, on the ground, into the
they're just so they're wearing rainbow suspenders, a crop top, incredibly tight, incredibly short shorts. They've got glasses, a fairly thick and well-groomed beard, and they are standing in front of a large one of those crepe paper spirals, kind of the tube that leads out of your dryer.
Right.
And it says no pipelines now. And this guy's just twerking while people sprinkle confetti on him.
So, by the way, the confetti was determined to be biodegradable.
Okay. But, there's some reporters taking very close-up shots of this guy's ass.
His ass and dick, which are both very much just sort of popping their way out of these little jorts.
Are you almost you must okay, one, it's clear this person works out a ton to make your butt that defined, but you almost have to tailor a pair of short shorts to get this level of crack.
I almost want to say that those are leggings and not actually shorts, not denim.
Yes, very possible,
because they're so tight against this person's body. Anyway, at Cuntanadian says, I still don't know why he's doing this at a pipeline protest, which
I think that's a great question.
So Work for Peace, who is the person in the video twerking and stuff.
If
you go to their Twitter account, their bio is, in response to the shooting at Pulse nightclub in Orlando, Work for Peace is a grassroots movement that uses dance to promote peace.
I mean, sure. Why not?
I mean, fine. And I think this is great. I noted on here that not all protests need to be somber, but this particular person does feel like they're attention seeking.
Well, but again, it's not that like a pipeline protest needs to be somber, but there's a difference between standing outside like a government building with a sign that says "Stop pipelines now" while someone twerks and then everyone goes home, versus you set up a camp like at, say, like Standing Rock, and just like block people from building the pipeline, and you also like create camaraderie and dance and stuff.
He is the only.
Those are different.
He's the only person dancing here. If there was like a group of people and like the other people who are holding the sign were like, "Hey, friend who's also holding the sign, hold my part of the sign so I can go over there and shake my ass too, because this looks like fun." That'd be different.
Yeah.
Like I said, this does feel like a little attention seeking.
Well, this is just like no one in the background. Like some of them are clearly having fun with it because like it's not like it's a fun thing to have happen.
Mm-hmm.
But at the end of the day, like this is just like this guy and this other person sprinkling confetti, just sort of running in there and using this protest as a backdrop.
Right.
Like I get the idea, which is like, okay, I'm going to take a video that everyone's going to want to watch because it's got my incredibly fit butt in it. And it's going to be in front of the Stop Pipelines Now, and then I'm going to put it up, and everyone's going to watch it and go, yeah, maybe I should stop a pipeline. I guess I hate this less for the attention-seekingness and for thinking that this particular kind of attention within a very liberal framework is at all useful for promoting peace.
Right. Because it's really not. Here's the thing. If this was at Pride, I'd feel like this was way different.
Oh, sure.
I feel like this was fully okay to be there, and then coincidentally, the anti-pipeline people would be there, who should also feel very welcome at Pride, because I feel like they should also be at Pride as well. Probably because most of them are gay.
Yeah, so one of these days, some cities' Pride is going to need to, spark off a literally taking back Pride as an incredibly radical thing, and not caring, because like we're literally at the point where cops shouldn't be at Pride, so they just hire private security instead,
right?
Who's just like secret.
I mean,
like the city does not need to be doing this. This can be a thing gay people do.
Right.
The city should just give us some money and let us go for it.
I mean, I need to find it, and I probably won't, but there was a MasterCard recently had, because they're sponsoring or they're running a Pride parade in some city around here in the United States.
Yes.
And they're like, come celebrate Pride with MasterCard, and they gave the price for the tickets to a parade. Something that you could just literally walk up to.
Right.
And they were like,
a thing you just stand on a building and watch.
Yeah, and they were like, nothing I think was cheaper than $60, which is a lot of money.
Holy shit.
For a parade.
Gay people don't have that kind of money.
Gay people can't just be, they have poppers to buy.
Yeah, I got way more important shit to use that $60 for.
Yeah, but I was
hell, I'll buy a new video game rather than watch a MasterCard Pride parade.
I did do that one time. My friends invited me out to LA Pride, and I was like, no, Animal Crossing is coming out that day.
Yeah. Honestly, Comrade Nintendo, a very rare show of pride from them by detracting from every single queer person's Pride Day by being like, we're gonna just release Animal Crossing that day, so most of y'all won't do Pride this year.
Yeah. Were they being very progressive or very regressive? Who knows?
Well, whatever it is, it's a positive change.
Oh, I did find the I put it in it's New York Pride, New York City Pride, unapologetically us, brought to you by MasterCard. Pre-sale ticket packages. The all-access package, $559.
Holy shit! I wish I had clicked the more details button to find out what does $560 get you at New York City Pride 2022. I guess we don't know yet.
I don't know. No, but the event description is MasterCard and NYC Pride are proud to present the special pre-sale opportunity to MasterCard holders. Oh, so you also have to be a MasterCard credit card holder.
You have to, your credit score has to be good enough to get into Pride. God damn it.
To get access to any of NYC's Pride events and unapologetically celebrate the 2022 season, this 10% discount is offered exclusively to MasterCard holders. Oh, so this is a discount. These are 10% more for people.
Yeah. Wow.
Oh, these are
it basically makes your all access package $500 even instead.
Oh, I don't know. I don't know if these are
that's 10% off.
What is that 10% off, or are these the pre-sale prices for that have the 10% off? So they're actually $600.
I don't think that this would. If this was 10% off, it would be a weird number. Like, I don't know why it would be like 620 something or 30 or whatever the fuck it would be.
Maybe. I don't know.
Whatever. Who cares? It's just a weird number. I don't know.
Yeah.
All I know is that I can't believe MasterCard is literally like this. I mean, honestly, this is who Pride is for. I haven't gone to Pride in years because every single time I'm there, it's just a fucking...
It's a beer commercial.
It's just a fucking beer commercial and like fucking house techno dance number for a bunch of like landlord gays.
Yeah. Well, I feel like Work for Peace is probably going to get a 20% discount for his MasterCard.
Yeah.
You know, Pride.
Work for Peace has 1,600 followers and joined in June 2016. Only 2 people I follow them. And that's because they're like New York organizations.
Right. I mean, like I don't know. It's just unfortunate. I get the sentiment behind it. I mean, Pulse was a truly awful thing to be a part of. Like you and I are queer people who were out and queer at the time, and just to see something as devastating as that happen, I mean, I still kind of do feel unsafe a lot of the times being queer, knowing that something like that could happen at a bar.
Yeah, totally.
And I think dancing is a great way to sort of just be like, we can't like let this stop us. There are many kind of, I think in hindsight, kind of cringy ways that queer people have celebrated life.
Sure.
But this just I don't know. This isn't it for me.
But this isn't dancing, and it's not about Pulse. It's not about being gay. It's literally Pulse happened, so I'm going to go dance in front of like anything that I think is activist without even understanding what anti-imperialism is, for example, and just film myself doing it, and that will somehow promote peace.
You're right.
Like,
it really is.
How do you not even understand the intersecting factors of the Pulse nightclub shooting that culminate in that to just be like, what if I danced though? What if I continued to dance anyway, even though people were killed for gayness in dancing? That's like, like that's fucking baby brain thinking. Like, no offense to this guy, but like, I think just like the fantastic ass is biasing me to even not just like lay into this fucker.
This guy is annoying. And, rest in power to those who died at Pulse. That's all I have to say.
Yeah.
Okay, so, what is that I hear on the winds? Is that a pig squealing? It's Hogwatch, everyone. It's Hogwatch.
It is the sound of pigs squealing. It is a distant bow yelling "Suey" as they herd the pigs toward us.
Well, I have 2 Hogwatch stories.
You have 2 Hogwatches. Okay, so a lot of hogs happened this week.
Yeah.
Okay.
I didn't want to put in any of the cop stories that I had because it was all propaganda, and I was like, well, this isn't like I want to see like a cop like I don't know roll their car or something.
We can choose to do like a propaganda breakdown of like 15 different propaganda stories any week we want for Hogwatch, where we feel like there are not enough hog stories going on.
Right. But today I had. So one of them is a little bit old, but I didn't hear about it, so it's news to me.
Okay.
It's a couple weeks old, and then the other one is very funny. But the fun one, we'll get that one.
The other one's funny. God knows when it's from.
Yeah, the cute one is great.
Okay, tell me about hogs.
This comes from The Guardian.
All right, side note, fuck you, The Guardian.
Fuck you, The Guardian. But this comes from Maya Yang. Thanks, Maya. Fuck you, The Guardian. But Maya reports swine language. Scientists decode pig emotions from their sounds, which just sounds so cute.
Yes, that makes sense. Are they suggesting that scientists have discovered that like animals emote things with their mouth?
Well, let us read.
Okay. Tell me. I'm interested. I'm being mean already to the study doers, but no. I want to hear about this.
So, in the study published earlier this month, researchers from the University of Copenhagen, ETH Zurich, and the French National Research. What's ETH? Do you know that?
Ethereum.
No, I don't think it is. The French National Research Institute for Agriculture, Food, and Environment recorded 7,414 sounds from 411 pigs in different scenarios.
Okay.
The researchers then developed an algorithm to decode whether the pigs were experiencing a positive emotion, negative emotion, or something in between.
Okay.
An algorithm isn't necessarily bad. I know we only use it in bad context, but an algorithm is literally just crunching numbers.
I just wish that's what I mean though, is I wish newspapers didn't report it like, oh, it's flashy and using fancy algorithms. Like, no, they just like analyzed the data using a computer script to that probably like crunched all of the sounds into like a spreadsheet with pitch, length, number of different grunts within it. That's all it was.
I hear you. Or they could just say algorithm.
They could just say they wrote a computer program to analyze these sounds. You could just say they analyzed the sounds. It's not an algorithm.
It is an algorithm.
Well, it is, but it's not. Like they're
it's not the common nomenclature.
That's why
it's not the common nomenclature.
They're playing off of what we think it means to make it sound fancier, and they are terrible. Fuck you, The Guardian.
I mean, I think you're letting your anti-Guardian bias show. It is an algorithm. I don't think that there's any other way one would report this other than an algorithm.
Fine, maybe that's how they've always been reporting it, but I'm pretty sure in the past they didn't know enough about computers to be like, that's an algorithm. They're just like, crunched some numbers.
In 1994, in the New York Times, the internet still needed to be defined, but by 1996, it didn't. So I guess at this point, we don't need to...
Maybe algorithm is understandable and means something to everyone. I don't want to hang up the story on this point. I just don't... I don't know. Like, you can't make me respect a writer in The Guardian.
That's fine.
You bring me this turf newspaper. You bring me this story about pigs. And you're just like, oh, no, this author's fine, probably.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know. She's just writing about pigs. I don't know. So the recordings were collected in situations encountered by commercial pigs from birth to death. The University of Copenhagen said. Researchers also monitored behaviors and heart rates. Quote, due to the impact of emotions on vocalization, the analysis of vocal expression of emotion is increasingly being considered as an important non-invasive tool to assess the affective aspects of animal welfare, the study said. It added, quote, in the last decade, it has been shown that vocalizations of various animal species produced in specific emotional contexts and or physiological states display specific acoustic characteristics. So positive situations include when piglets suckle from their mothers or when they are reunited with family members. Negative situations include separation, fights, castration, and slaughter. Good to know. So researchers also developed mock scenarios designed to evoke more nuanced emotions. Such scenarios included an arena holding toys or food and a corresponding arena without such any stimuli. They also introduced new and unfamiliar objects. The study revealed that pigs typically vocalize high-frequency calls such as screams or squeals in negative situations, low-frequency calls such as barks and grunts occurring when pigs experience both positive and negative emotions. So they're nuanced. So I don't know. It just sounds cute that like we're getting to learn pig language. Like, they talk to us and they talk to each other.
They do. They're like all the animals. I would have a pig around. I like a pig.
They're so big though.
They are. They're cute.
Yeah, if I had a big old farm, but I'm not a person who wants to live on a farm.
Yeah. Well, look, I'm just fine with having an animal around who can like tackle me.
Hey, the pig's acting kind of funny.
And Mr. Simpson split a case of malt liquor.
Guys, he's really sick.
Hello? That sounds like a pig fainting.
So, our second hog watch.
Tell me more about the hogs.
This one's a doozy.
Okay.
This one comes from Complex Magazine by Joshua Espinoza. Thanks, Josh. Man nearly lost his penis after his unkempt pubic hair cuts off its circulation.
Oh, no. Like, when we say it's like a forest down there, we literally mean, like, this is like some sort of fucking Lord of the Rings ass forest that's, like, slowly strangling itself from the roots up.
Uh-huh. So,
oh, no.
So, according to a recent article published by Urology Case Reports, a 57-year-old Australian man almost lost the tip of his penis after it was strangled by his unkept pubic hair. Doctors say the unidentified man went to his family doctor with extreme pain and swelling around his groin. Because the physician neglected to pull the man's foreskin back, he didn't properly identify the issue.
Oh, no.
The patient was eventually given some steroids to relieve the symptoms. However, this condition worsened when he was then referred to Geelong University Hospital. It was there that doctors diagnosed the man with hair tourniquet syndrome, which occurs when hair tightly wraps around an appendage and cuts off its circulation. According to the report, the man's pubic hair had matted together and formed a tight ring around the penis. Doctors described the patient as an unkept man who suffered from type 2 diabetes, hypertension, depression, and anxiety. The other two things that I don't know how much those really factor into this, but
which
the hypertension,
ones?
The depression and anxiety.
You don't think depression and anxiety contribute to like overall like crotch health? Like,
I've lived with some pretty severe depression. I wash and trim my balls. So
I think that's because you're gay, and this is much more of a priority that you're going to lose later.
Maybe. Although the anxiety, I can get if you're too anxious to get a set of clippers around there, because it's a sensitive area.
There you go. You're anxious to put clippers around there, and on top of that, you're too depressed to but even try every 2 weeks. You never get it.
So...
Also,
you know what?
I just love that. You're just literally saying to all of the listeners, wow, I don't have a problem with basic personal grooming when I'm depressed. And like, well, welcome to everyone else being depressed.
Sorry. One of the things that relaxes me is a shower.
That's good. Yeah, I really feel like the kind of like the depression we're talking about here is like you don't relax. There is no up, there is no down, there is only numb and bad.
Well, I guess it's that's the bipolar that I have is the like, month long episodes sort of things where it's like, yeah, of course I'm going to take a shower. I feel fine right now.
Okay, I mean, that works. I'm very happy for you that you are not experiencing hair tourniquet syndrome on any part of your body, much less the dick or balls.
You know what's one of the reasons why I think, too, is one of my coping mechanisms, and it was a lot worse back in the day when I was not as good with my coping mechanisms, was having a lot of sex.
Oh, so there you go.
Like that.
That's like...
There is that sort of expectation that there's supposed to be a level of grooming done.
Well, that makes sense. You're coping by having a lot of sex. I'm coping with depression by playing a lot of video games. And now, there it is. You have incredibly well-manicured balls, and I have a very large Xbox library. And we both have a much healthier relationship with those things.
There you go.
But they're just a part of our lives.
That's true. But this man's penis is still a part of his life, though.
Oh, okay, so it didn't get worse.
Yeah, no, it did. He did have to go under surgery, or he did have to undergo surgery. And he reportedly freaked out after learning about the risks, and he fled the hospital only to return a couple of days later. Doctors went on to reattach his urethra and gave him a permanent catheter so he could properly urinate. The physicians went against their advice and left the hospital after 1 day. However, he returned 2 weeks later after his penis flesh began eroding.
Oh my god. Penis flesh began eroding. We're going to lose so many listeners to the show just by coming up with a new gangrenous-style dick every week.
He was then transferred to the operating room for a second time, and they removed the bacteria, fitted him with another catheter, and performed a circumcision. Although the second surgery was a success, doctors say the man's penis was left with a deformity. The circumcision?
I don't know. Are they being, like, is this woke all of a sudden?
No, I'm just kidding. It's probably not.
I know you're kidding. I'm continuing the joke deadpan.
But is it? But is that what... I wonder if... I feel like it's like last week where they were like, they got to take a chunk out. Like, I think that's just it. They had to take a chunk out.
This is the antithesis to last week's story, where everything is the same. Something happens to their penis, it doesn't go well. They wind up out of the hospital against recommendations, but this person came back and said, take the chunk, doc, and they did, and now they're fine.
Yeah, and that's probably all due to Australia's healthcare system, which is, I think, more or less inexpensive or free for most people, if I'm not mistaken.
So this is from...
Australia.
Okay. Cool. I guess I could look up Geelong University Hospital. I'm doing it right now. Where is it?
Unless this guy was just Australian and he was somewhere else. I guess that's also possible too, right?
In Victoria.
That's Australia or Canada.
Yeah, no, it's Australia.
Okay.
No, you're right.
All right. Well,
it's not. I don't not believe you. I just don't know.
Oh no, I don't know all these Commonwealth country names and places. That's just it.
God, I'm gonna be honest with you. Like, maybe we should be reading urology case reports more often. Like, I've got it right here. It's
kind of fun.
Yeah.
My favorite thing of the year is and it's a little bit harder to find nowadays because the Gawker websites aren't really as active anymore. But they used to do a roundup of all the things found in people's assholes. Like the reports of like going to the emergency room and like having to get things removed from people's assholes. It's it's a good list, and it's like, honey, just get a butt plug. Just get a butt plug. And then when it's the butt plug that's stuck in, it's like, spring for a better one.
Right, spring for a better one, and at least you go to the hospital with that, and the doctors are like, oh, yeah, we doctors can come up with routine ways of removing the butt plug, because they're all more or less the same.
Yeah, they could maybe invent a vice for it or something.
Yeah, some sort of a butt plug unplugger. Actually, I think they have that. I believe that's just an ovipositor that you've like attached a vacuum to.
The ovipositor kink is not vegan because the eggs are gelatin.
You can get a vegan gelatin substitute.
Yeah, but I guess if it's food, it's body safe, right? Who cares?
Well, it's not necessarily body safe because like it depends on what you make it out of. Because like if there's any sugars in there, like that's so bad.
No, you could get just plain agar, just like some plain agar powder. I actually have some.
Yeah.
Okay, so then, yeah, you know what? Ovipositor kink is back on the table for me then.
Yeah.
After I trim all of my ass and dick and ball hair, just to make sure that this doesn't happen. So, all of you uncircumcised kings, just check a little bit.
Yeah, they mention in the study what is this called? The urology case reports from May 2022. They basically remind you that retract your foreskin, and if you can't, talk to a doctor about it, because you got to be able to do that to clean.
Yeah, it's too tight, and you will probably have to get circumcision, and that's perfectly fine. That's a perfectly valid reason to get a circumcision, and just because you want one.
I had that problem, and I got bottom surgery. That solved it.
There you go. I mean, that's maybe a little bit more extreme than most people are willing to go, but hey, options are open.
Hey.
That's all you need to know.
I want to get into volume 43 of urology case reports.
This person came in with too tight foreskin, and then they left with a vagina.
Yeah.
The untightening surgery worked too well, and it actually just sucked all of itself in.
It's created some sort of a vortex through which nothing escapes.
Oh God,
vagina dentata. But what would the Latin word for like singularity or black hole be? Oneness with God. I don't know.
What is hole in Latin? I know what black is like negro, like how it is in Spanish. Let me see.
All right, we'll look.
This is so stupid.
Now we're gonna make this joke, and the listeners are gonna hear us make it. Well, let's try wordhippo.com. Why, oh. Okay. Opening...
Cavum nigrum.
Cavum. Okay, yeah. Hollow, pit, cavity, socket, mouse hole, yeah. I've also got foramen here for opening eye, aperture, bore, or perforation.
Oh, you're getting, like, poetic with it.
Yeah. Like, I mean, really, isn't the vulva sort of, like, the aperture to the body?
Oh, you could call it Oculus Dei, as in like the Eye of God.
The Eye of God, yeah. There you go. I was calling my vulva Oculus Dei. That's the title for the show right there. Oculus Dei.
Yeah, if any one of us was going to create a cult of personality, it will be you.
I'm working on it. I have quite the personality. If anyone wants to like follow my teachings and buy a house for me, you let me know.
Mm-hmm.
Don't only do it if you have money. Don't do counter-revolutionary shit. But like,
no. If it's a cult of personality, Give her your money.
No,
Give
stop
her a
trying
car.
to make this
Get her jewelry.
I mean, actually, yeah, no, if you want to just give me money, that's cool. I like that. That's fine. As an individual to an individual, you freely give gifts. That's fine.
It would be great is if someone got you an attack helicopter and then you can make the one joke. But it's you this time who's making the joke.
I would love to do that. I've always wanted to make just make like a fucking wacky action movie about a bunch of trans revolutionaries who do get to like fire upon a bunch of chuds from an attack helicopter as they make that joke.
Yeah, that'd be just the joke so old and dead at that point, but there would be so many people in the audience just clapping.
Oh yeah, no, they'd all know it. Like, this is the thing, is we can make it over the next 20 years and this will be the equivalent of like Dirty Harry or something, but for like trans millennials.
Yeah.
But it would be trans, so there'd be a bunch of us. So it'd be like a collective of autistic trans military history enthusiasts get their hands on an entire military base worth of equipment and just go on like an Expendables action movie rampage.
Yeah.
That's so good.
Yeah, or, since it's Clint Eastwood, you're going to do the, oh god, what's the name of the one movie that he did where he's just an old guy Gran Torino.
Gran Torino.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah,
you're gonna do Blood Torino, yeah.
Yeah, you're going to do Trans Gran Torino, except it'll be...
Tran Torino.
Tran Torino. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what we're going to do.
Oh god. Well,
so fucking good. Maybe that's the title of the episode. Who knows?
Who knows? Well, we're here at the last story, and we don't typically do follow-ups, but there's absolutely no way that we could not let this go.
Yeah, we have to follow this up.
Oh boy. Oh boy. Oh boy. Yeah, last week we reported on PAAU, which is the Progressive Anti-Abortion Union? Or something like that? Underground? I don't remember.
Uprising. It's way more cringe than union. They wouldn't be a union.
I don't know. Well, anyway, this is a so-called grassroots group, even though it's quite clear it is astroturfed. They got a lot of money to make a lot of printable materials and YouTube videos, and
there appear to only be like
stuff.
2 people who are majorly active in it, and one of them just got arrested.
Right. So last week, this woman was arrested. I forget her name, but she's I remember her title as a anarchist Catholic.
The Catholic anarchist, yeah.
But again, can't do that. But anyway, she was arrested because in her home in the DC area was found 5 fetuses.
Yeah, we reported about how they found 5 fetuses in one of their homes.
But
how many fetuses have these people gone through? Last week I made the joke that this was a Garden State hamster graveyard of fetuses.
You did.
And if I'm not mistaken, it was.
Yes. So this is from NPR, written by
Deepa Shivaram. Thanks, Deepa.
Yeah. So NPR reports the anti-abortion group claims it took 115 fetuses from medical waste truck
and buried 110.
Yeah, police apparently did end up finding 110 more fetuses. Now, I don't know what DC's laws regarding medical waste are, but I'm going to guess that they're kind of strict.
Probably.
Like they are in most states, even though DC's not a state, whatever. Washington, D.C. police would originally found 5... They originally found 5 fetuses in one of the group members' apartments and is continuing to investigate the case. At a news conference Tuesday, 2 members of the PAAU, Teresa Bukanovak and Lauren Hardy, said that they got the fetal remains from a medical waste company employee who gave them a box from his truck. The 2 women saw the medical waste truck from Curtis Bay Medical Waste Services outside Washington Surgery Clinic, which performs medical procedures such as abortions. The women say that they took the box to Handy's apartment. In total, they claim that there was 15 fetuses in the box. Bukanovak said in the news conference that she asked the driver of the truck if he would get in trouble if they took one of the boxes. She says he was shaken when they told him what the contents of the box were. The 2 women apparently told the driver they would bury the fetuses.
See, I'm going to be honest. I kind of believe that because
I don't.
Well, here's the thing though is, okay, a few weeks ago, we reported that 5 human heads were stolen out of these very same type of boxes off the back of a truck that was just sitting there. In the case of here in Denver, it was like sitting unoccupied for a moment with the back unlocked, and someone just took shit from it. Whereas this one is, but this is the thing is, they're almost certainly contracting out to some secondary company because all of this is just a private patchwork of corporations. And I can guarantee it is a very believable statement that the worker driving the medical waste truck is not told what's in there.
You know what? You're right.
I do not think they are. I've done, the medical couriering I did was for dental and optical only, but as like someone who was just a part of like the medical courier complex, like you don't know what's in there. Literally, you're carrying people's like teeth and
eyeballs.
Yeah, eyeballs for when you need new eyeballs.
I mean, sometimes people need new eyeballs.
It happens. You don't usually get them from your eye doctor, but who am I to condemn whatever wizardry certain optometrists can produce?
Yeah, not a neurologist or ophthalmologist doing this.
All I'm saying is, never once did I look in any of those boxes. It's not something I was supposed to do.
Right, it'd be really weird if it was fetuses.
Right, well that's the thing that was like, because I was picking it up from like dental plants and dropping it off at like, you know, dental fashioning places that like I know like what's in there more or less, but all you have to do is do like 3 more kinds of procedures at that place. I don't know what's in the box.
So this might just be me because of my very specific background as someone who was the vice president and president of a club on my college campus that was like for sex positivity. We like I know of the abortion clinics in the area around me, and I know like what clinics like perform abortions. So maybe this is just a me thing where I'm like, well, I already know that place does abortion, so one of these is full of fetuses.
Right. Well, and also, I'm confident that the worker doesn't necessarily know that. I'm sure they're not allowed to know that to some degree. Like, I'm willing to bet that they know that, like, they perform abortions, but might, like, it's just eminently believable to me that they're kind of shaken to be told that box is full of fetuses. Like, it's because, like, it's one thing to be like, oh yeah, there's medical waste. It's another thing to be like, all of the fetuses are in just sort of a bloody sack in this thing. And they're like, And also, like, in order for them to say that, they don't know that. Like, it's just likely based on the fact that this is an abortion place that they might...
Why did they know that?
I don't think they did. I think they're just like...
Did they sneak a peek?
Well, okay, so the thing that NPR doesn't really report here, which is notable, is that letter that we talked about on the PAAU Twitter last week. That was like, well, we kept those 5 because they were so big, we thought that they were illegitimately aborted or possibly a live birth abortion, after which we discovered that, yes, they think that is just when it is born alive and murdered afterwards because they don't want you to know it was viable.
Which, just not a thing.
What I think is happening here is they went to a clinic that performs abortions and said, like, you know, because, like, how many boxes, like, because this is probably just a small box here, like 115 fetuses, like, regardless of that sounds obscene, and you might picture, like, oh god, like, the fetal pigs from high school in just, like, a giant brine vat that's, like, the size of, like, the table, but, like, this is probably, like, a Ziploc baggie.
Yeah, I was gonna say like a
maybe
cooler,
it's
like a cooler if it's the biggest, like, you know, just like one of those that you would take to the, or maybe like a lunch, like a kind of bigger lunch cooler that you would take if you're like a construction worker or something.
Yeah, this is one of those little like a flip, like a curved top flip ones that like you bring to the park with like a 6-pack and a few other things at best. So like there's probably like this box that says like, you know, medical, you know, like human remains or medical waste or something, like some indication that like these are like, this is particularly biohazardous compared to the others, but just like with the heads, it's probably not labeled. Like they don't write fetuses on the box like fucking like It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia with the box with like the letter H on it for Hornet.
But here's the thing, because we live in such a like a non-scientific world, specifically in the United States.
Yes.
That, like, because this should be labeled fetuses.
Sure.
Like, it should be labeled, like, because there might be, like, specific things that you need to, like, what if these are fetuses for stem cell research or something like that? It's like, these should be labeled fetuses. But because, like, if this story is true, this driver is probably personally against abortion, but thinks that it should be legal and safe, which I think most Americans, like the average American's idea of abortion is that, like, I would never do it, or I would never have my partner do it.
Right.
But it's like,
it should be, but it's shameful, but I shouldn't stop people from doing that shame.
It's like God will answer for that. But it's like, but no, it's like, you should just be okay with anyone getting this very medically, like, necessary procedure. And it's already
you should sling them into one of those little boxes that says fetus in big Sharpie letters, like off of one of those waste paper basket backboards for basketball.
So like, how like some nurses or doctors will like learn how to flick the gloves off of their hands.
Yeah,
that's what I imagine the doctor will do after performing, just like with the fetus in hand, sort of flick it.
just slapping that grain of rice down into like a thing that looks kind of like a tomato rice soup.
Yeah, but like that's just it. It's like, like this is a very necessary procedure for many people. In many ways, it's traumatic, but for a lot of folks, it's not. But for, I would say, a majority of folks, it can be kind of traumatic because of all of the surrounding parts of society around it.
This is one of those things that, like, no, it's like, it's a cultural stigma. Like,
right.
It didn't necessarily just go away because you changed abortion to be free and legal. It made things a lot better, but you still have to do that cultural shift after you change some of the legal shit too.
Right. It's just like, this is, we see how far, I think abortion is a very perfect, and same-sex marriage are two very good examples of how far liberalism goes and just like stops.
Yeah, I mean,
because anyone should just be able to go to an abortion clinic, no questions asked, and then just receive the abortion.
Yeah. Well, and it's been the wedge issue for a long time, and then gay people were for a while. Right now, trans people are, and they're whipping people up around midterms, the Republicans, just because it's like trans people are evil and grooming everything, whatever. Though that means, which means nothing now, and everyone's like doing live birth abortions to babies, and it's all this interconnected satanic cult that is run by lizard people and Jews to stop the world from thriving in Christ or whatever. Like,
right. But the thing is, like,
and at some point along that story, you personally may know someone who stops. It doesn't go any further than that, but it's still all one connected narrative. You just choose to go down.
Right.
It's a rabbit hole. You go down as far down as you feel like.
It's just it's ridiculous, and it's oh boy, it's just so interesting to live in a time where like I literally was just reading about this sort of stuff in history books like a couple of years ago when I was still in college, and it's like, nope, this shit's cyclical because liberalism can only go so far.
Yeah, liberalism can only go so far and then ratchet way back in the other direction until enough of a crisis happens that it starts trying to do another genocide or frontier expansion.
Yeah, and who knew
to calm it down?
Who knew that it would be a global pandemic that sort of sparked it?
I mean, a lot of people, honestly. Sadly.
Yeah, like, yes, a lot of people actually could have easily predicted this. I think Marx might have written a few things about it.
Yeah, well, no, and did. Many a person being like, a global medical crisis of any sort really seems like the kind of thing that'd do it.
Yeah, I mean, all you need to do is just play Civ 6 for a little bit. You'd be able to figure that out too.
Maybe that's what I'll do after we're done with this episode. I'll go play Civ 6 for a while.
I was actually thinking about doing that too. It's a lot of fun.
That's fun. So you did end up getting it?
No, I mean, I have it on my Switch. I might just play it on my Switch.
Okay. Yeah, I was gonna go play it on the Xbox. Look at us playing Civilization on a console. We're gonna lose listeners over that take.
Oh, absolutely no. We don't. Who? Zach?
Does Zach listen to the show?
No, Zach doesn't. But the only PC gamer, the only PC gamers that we know.
I have Civ 6 on the computer. I just don't play it there.
But the only PC gamers that we know are Zach and Artemis.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No, we are,
and they don't listen to the show.
We are the console guys of whichever sort we are. I am the last Xbox gamer in existence. You are sort of an off-kilter Switch player who's also like, I want to get some of the AAA games on this.
Yeah. Oh, and then Bo is technically a PC player, but Bo strictly only plays shooters from the 90s.
That's true. I bet you we could get Bo, like, maybe we could just get Bo an Xbox and, like, play Quake.
Oh, yeah. No, Quake, well, this will get cut out, but Quake did re-release on the consoles, and I think
I know, I have
platform.
Oh, yeah. It's cross-platform? I haven't checked that. I just know it's on the consoles.
As long as you sign in with, like, Bethesda Net or something.
Oh, well, great. Let's just all on our respective systems play Quake. I'm
so bad at Quake.
Honestly, I have not played. I have not played the original Quake yet. I have it. It's ready to play. I played Quake 2, and was it 4? How many did they go with?
3? I don't remember.
3?
But I remember sneaking away to play Quake.
I think 4 I had on the Xbox 360. I think that's a thing.
Yeah, that might be it. Well, regardless, that's it for us, folks.
Is it? Okay. Yeah, we're just going off on tangents.
Well, if you made it this far, you are a true You are a true comrade, and thanks for sticking around. Shout out to all of our patrons, but especially Kay, CJ, Drew, Nicole, Pizza Pos, Comrade Kametka, Alan, Cody, Jen, Andrew, conduit of the existential dread of fatherhood itself, Julian, Julia, Dylan, Samantha, Asa Marxist, Jack, Bruce, Lizzie, the brilliant Dr. Fly, Alex, Olive Lotion Wizard, Jorge, Soft Freezies, Tyler, Malwin, Eli, Rufus, Not a Mole Rat, Tim, Scott, and the Warlock Phosphorus. You all keep the show plugging along.
Yay.
Let us know how you liked our latest Patreon exclusive episode, which was a fun one.
Was it?
It went up yesterday.
Which one?
Yeah.
Oh, the one you just put up.
Yeah.
Okay.
I just put it up.
I thought you meant the one we just recorded.
No.
Oh.
I mean, that one's probably going to be fun too.
Sure, absolutely.
But the last one that we did was the one where we discussed beans and books.
Yeah, no, last week I had so much fun. We were all just the perfect amount of high. I want to replicate that. I want to show up to not have a migraine before I show up so I can think good. Can you tell listeners how I'm not thinking good?
Well, also new and exclusive to the Patreon are my old videos that I used to do before I joined Psychic Dolphin Mirage, but also my old podcast is slowly but surely being uploaded there.
Cool.
It was Dogma podcast about cults, and the first 2 episodes are Fallen Gong and The Branch Davidians. So check those out.
Hell yeah.
They were a lot of fun. I was told that I had a very NPR style of narrating. So if that's your kind of thing, kind of a more kind of relaxed sort of sound, then by all means take a listen.
If you don't get enough NPR in your life.
Yeah. I mean, hey, if you want to hear NPR from a gay communist and not just like some gay liberal, then go ahead and listen. But that's it for us today. So we'll see you all later, folks. Bye.
Bye.